Many may argue that teaching sexual education is not needed in the teaching curriculum for schools these days, for many reasons, such as students' religious backgrounds, and because some believe that sexual education influences sexual behaviors instead of decreases the chances of sexual behavior. However, research says otherwise. Studies show that teaching sexual education in school can reduce adolescent pregnancy rates, reduce the incidence of sexually transmitted diseases, and increase abstinence. First, let's start off with defining what sexual education is because many don't have the correct definition. Sexual education is the process of acquiring and forming attitudes and beliefs about sex, sexual identity, relationships, and intimacy. DeWitt 2015. Now, according to the article Teen Pregnancy, Hyacin states what abstinence-only policies argue that states who do teach sexual education has the lowest teen pregnancy rates, and states that do not has higher. For example, in New Hampshire, the teen pregnancy rate is 16 per 1,000 girls, while in Mississippi, the rate is higher, being 55 per 1,000 girls. In New Hampshire, they require sexual education classes, while in Mississippi, they do not, which supports that whole fact on sexual education reduces the teen pregnancy rates. Now let's shift to sexually transmitted diseases. The article Advocates for Youth state that sexual education is effective and helps reduce the chances of getting sexually transmitted diseases. It states that sex ed long-term impacts include lower STD rates. It also reduces the chances of teens interacting in unprotected sex, which also can help prevent contracting sexually transmitted diseases. Lastly, but most importantly, abstinence. With abstinence, we can rule out teen pregnancy and STDs, which is very important. Now, research says that sexual education can reduce the frequency of sex, reduce the number of new partners, and also reduce the initiation of sexual activity. Let's share some numbers. The Advocate for Youth article states that between 1991 and 2004, the teen birth rate dropped from 62 births to 41 births per 1,000 girls. Now, experts believe that this decrease came from the increase of contraceptives and delayed initiation due to sexual education classes being taught in schools. In conclusion, there are many pros and cons to teaching sexual education, like I referenced to in the beginning, which is, sexual education going against religious backgrounds and sexual education actually influencing behaviors rather than decreasing behaviors. But research says otherwise. Research says that the pros outweigh the cons. Sexual education does not only affect sexual behaviors of adolescents, but also achieves positive health impacts for adolescents as well. I acquired most of my information from these 6 websites. It's the NBC News Sex Ed Debate, Advocates for Youth, thinkprogress.org, Teen Pregnancy, uuniverse.com, Sex Ed in Schools, The Pros and the Cons, and Sexual Education, www.all.org. Now, I hope that with my speech, I created a different opinion on sexual education being taught in schools. Sexual education being taught in schools is only to promote the better youth, so we don't have those high numbers of pregnancy rates, those high numbers of STDs. So I hope you guys have a different opinion, and thank you.